Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Dan.
And this is a board game rundown. Today we are going to review Gorinto from Grand Gamers Guild.
Yeah.
So in Gorinto, we are building up our mastery in the different elements. We have void, wind, fire, water, earth. No Captain Planet.
Heart.
No heart. That's void.
Oh, sorry.
That's the
My
hole
heart is
in
a
your
void.
Soul.
My heart is void.
That's right. That's right. In this game, looks kind of like a lot, but it is deceptively easy.
Yeah.
To
It's
learn.
pretty simple.
But to be good at it, might take
I
some
thought
work.
it was pretty easy to be good at.
Question mark.
personally.
Dan's played
Dan's
and
very
won
lucky.
every time he's played. So this game's done. End of the review.
End of the review.
End of the review.
Dan gives it a 10, everyone else gives it a 1. We're done.
Yeah, we hate any game that Dan wins at consistently. No, so Runes of Zun. Gorinto. I know. In Gorinto, this is basically a what do you call these tiles? I guess they're interlocking tiles.
Yeah, they're tiles. Yeah,
They
interlocking
stack up,
tiles.
and you're going to bring one in from the row, and then you're going to execute
Its ability
its ability. And depending on your mastery or your knowledge
of said element.
of the certain elements, it means you're going to take more of these tiles, right? And then on the side here, they tell you basically what each tile does. So if a void tile moves in here, it's going to take like that. And you're going to take one, always take one, plus one more up to your mastery
Right.
in the
Yeah,
void.
so if I were to take, once I have a fire one, right, and I move my fire guy down here, since I've got 2 fire master already, then I get to take 3
Correct.
tiles out of that column.
And you have to take three.
have to take 3.
So-
which can really get to, especially late game, you're trying to
Right.
have all your stacks
Sometimes
even.
you might
or-
want to, like, my last action of the game was purposely moving a white piece to where I only had to take one
one
tile
tile.
to try to balance a scoring mechanism out,
Right.
you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, you kind of play that system a bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So the game is going to be played over 4 seasons. So at the end of each season, so basically once there are fewer tiles to move in than there are players, that tells you it's the end of the round. Then at the end of the season, we've got these cards here. There's a whole stack of them. We just got these out from the game we just played. But this is like score each stack with an odd number of tiles, right? So Bob right here, he's got a stack of 3, a stack of 1, a stack of 1, a 0, and a 2. So he's going to score this whole stack, which is 1 point, this whole stack, 1 more point, and then this whole stack, which is 3 points. So 5 points total. And everybody goes around and they do that. And then this one, Bob would be out of luck, but it'd be if you have any empty stacks, score 0.
0.
Otherwise, score your shortest stack. So times 7. Okay. So basically, these are all stacks of 1. So just pick one of them. That's 7 points. And then everybody will go around and do that. Then we will get rid of the unused tiles. And then you draw randomly from the bag.
And refill.
And refill. And they tell you to look around and you don't, so like this, we draw purple. So you would mix up kind of where the purple could go.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to just put them each
Sure.
in one.
You
You
don't
can
wanna
be
clump 'em.
deliberate with your placing.
As long as they're not trying to be too meta, like, oh, if I want to put this
I was going to
fire
say,
one
that's
right
why I
here.
always do it random anyway. If
Yeah.
this happened, I would just put a couple back in the bag.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
redraw
that's what I
too.
would do, just to
Yeah.
spread it out, right?
Because I
Since
just don't
you're-
want the person putting the tiles out to have that big of an advantage.
Yeah,
to
be like,
really
oh,
like
I'm
a
going to
white
put this fire one here. Oh, I'm first? Cool. Hey, look, it's a perfect move.
Right, right. Now, there is a whole stack of different kinds of scoring
like end game
objectives.
scorings and,
Yeah,
and round to round.
And then so the important thing to remember is that this is the scoring for the whole game. Does not change. These here, these specific element times 2, these are going to tell you what elements are going to score at the end of the game in addition to these.
End round, yep.
Now, one thing I like that they do is they've got what they call conflict letters in the bottom of the card, right? So in this bottom corner, it says B. That's because if we drew this card randomly for our scoring, this would score each stack with even number of tiles. So it's basically the opposite.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want, you
Use both
do
of
not
those.
have both of those at the same time. So
Right.
you would just
So you got to
discard
be scoring all the stacks all the time.
and redraw. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there's only a few
That's
that
interesting. It's
that
like
kind
a
of
good thing to look out for. Like they knew ahead of time. that,
yeah. It's like ABCD. There's like
Okay.
4 of them.
you
that
don't want to have 2 of the same out.
correct.
Because they apply to opposite ones, which
Right.
then
Or they
score
just
everything.
counteract each other in some way.
Yeah, yeah,
And there's a card for each element, right? So as you randomly determine which elements are going to score
yeah. Mm-hmm.
at the end of the game. And I mean, that's the whole
The
game.
game.
That is
Yeah.
the game.
Mhm.
And by the end of the game, you've got all these stacks and the board has changed a lot. And one thing I really like is in the book, they give you sort of alternatives for setup. So like in the basic mountain, you've got like these rows of 2, these stacks of 2, and then 3, and then 4, right? Something like that.
Yep.
But there's like one that's like waves, so it's like a row of 3 and then a row of 2. So it's like simulate,
waves and stuff.
waves
yeah.
cresting.
Different setups.
Yeah, and there's at least one other one in there.
Yeah, on the back page, I think there's 3 or 4.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hill diagram, lake diagram, the mesa, and then the waves. So
Nice.
it's kind of neat. So lots of interesting things in this. Components wise, I'm just gonna go out and say I'm a huge fan of the components.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
The only
nice.
negative I have for the the only negative I have for the
If you
components,
can't say it, it doesn't
I
count.
know, is that the tiles are almost so perfect that like sometimes you're trying
They
to
stick.
Yeah, you're trying to pick them up and like you'll pick up the whole stack because they just like stick together.
Right.
And it doesn't happen every time, but every once in a while you're like gotta get your second hand in there and peel it off. And it's literally just that they're so well made, so form fitting.
They're so uniform.
That you almost wish they were slightly more loose, right? But oh man, other than that, the components here are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean the cards are cards.
Yep.
But they're nice. The rounded edges.
The rule book is great.
Yeah, and it's really short but very clear, right?
Yep.
Lots of pictures, and then it took Dan and I less than 10 minutes to figure out how to play,
Right.
and then we taught you guys here in less than 5 minutes. It's
The only question I have about the rules that I'm not 100% sure of, but the way we've been playing it plays perfectly fine, I feel. I haven't been able to find it in the rule book, so I think we've just assumed. But like if it says you score your shortest stack 7 times, and you have 3 that are the same size, we've just been saying, well, they're all the shortest stacks, so we pick one and we score it 3 times. But that sentence could easily be interpreted as if you have 3 that are 1, you score each one 7 times. That sentence could mean that.
could mean that. I don't think.
I don't know.
I
wouldn't
think it does.
think
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think intuitively we
Sure.
assumed this was true, and it plays well. But I am not 100% sure.
And
I have not been
alternatively,
able to
though,
find
as long
that.
as everybody scores it the same way,
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Right.
really matter
Unless
because
Tim
if
wins,
everyone
then it
knew that they
Right.
all
Well, I guess it matters because Dan won.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So we're probably doing it wrong.
it's the only explanation.
Right.
I want to go ahead and say the colors are super easy to tell apart.
that was going to be my next question
Yeah.
because even if they weren't, there's at least
Yeah, they
different
have-
iconography.
Yeah, they have
Yeah,
the
different.
the
kanji.
side- yeah.
I think it's called.
Whatever the
and
letters are,
for
yeah.
people new to the channel, Bob has a type of color blindness,
Yep.
so that's why it's really nice to hear him say these colors are great.
Yeah,
Right.
it's super. Like it's not even like yeah, kind of. No, they're very
They're all
easily
distinct, right?
distinguishable. Yep.
Nice.
Perfect.
So
And
that's
then
nice.
on this board, I love this board because it tells you what each tile does right on the side.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's an awesome reference point, and it makes
No need for player aids.
Yep.
No,
That's the player aid.
the player
makes
aid is
it-
the board.
Yeah, well, it makes sense too, right? Because Earth, you're getting everything down in the stack underneath there.
Right.
The water
Water
is
is
Washes
flowing
across,
Yeah,
right?
the fire it burns up and down. The wind
It's
is
like a
all around
tornado,
you.
yeah.
My
the
empty
void is-
heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is, anyway.
Randomly
Yeah.
crushing souls around the
Yeah.
side.
I do want to say, like, I heard the name of it, and as we're going to be playing it, I was not super excited. And then I heard it was Grand Gamers Guild, and I'm a big fan of Grand Gamers Guild. They got a
yeah.
bunch of games out that I do enjoy. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm interested. Let's check it out. And then we played it. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Dan,
So I hate abstract strategy games.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, this will be interesting.
Yeah.
And when Tim got me to play it the other night, I literally like 2 rounds. I kept saying, "This is interesting. The way this is interesting. Like I like this puzzle is interesting. Like and I kept like kind of puzzling out stuff. And I genuinely think this is my favorite abstract strategy game. I've ever played. It's still an abstract strategy game.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Grand Gamers Guild. I know you love the letter G and everything, but yeah, I genuinely think this is my favorite abstract strategy game I've ever played. I find the mechanics so clever with the way this works and the puzzle, and it has this really cool feeling for me of. This is a game where there's going to be analysis paralysis. It's definitely a game you go into it and you just don't worry about it. The game plays fast anyway. Let someone take their turn. Because the problem is, if I'm looking at this and there's, all these options here, but then, Jeff takes this, Bob takes this, and Tim takes this, my entire turn has changed.
Right. And then all the tops have changed now,
Yeah,
too.
and all the tops have changed and everything. So at the start of your turn you almost have to wait to, like, you can
Yeah.
have ideas like, okay, I really need a blue, so I'll keep an eye on all these blues. But really, your planning starts when your turn starts.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's going to make your turn feel long because Bob can't start thinking about what he's going to do until Bob's turn starts. So the rest of us just kind of sit there and wait. But you're going to have to do the exact same thing on your turn.
Yeah.
So it's like analysis paralysis, but turned down as much as it can be. It did not feel long at
And
all.
again, because the game plays so quickly,
Yeah.
it's almost it does a thing that is hard to do, but when it's done well, it just makes me love the game a little bit more. Is that when it's like the game ends and you're like, ooh, just one more turn.
Yeah.
But not in a way where it's like, oh, I couldn't get everything going and I didn't get to do everything I wanted. But it's like, ooh,
I could get like a lot more points if I could take one more
Right.
action.
Right.
That last turn, I literally I did my option. I did that thing I was talking about where I just purposely only took one tile, even though you could have tried more. But like I just wanted to set up the scoring thing, and I sat back and like Tim took his turn, and then Bob was in his turn. I was like, I'm out. That was my
No,
last
that's it.
turn.
I'm done.
That was
Yeah.
my last turn for the whole game.
Yeah.
I hope I did that right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
I
know?
mean, we played 4 players with teaching
Yep.
in about 25 minutes,
Yeah.
if that.
If that.
If that. It was fast. And that was with guys taking their time on turns. I mean, that was I normally am like, hey, come on, take your turn.
Yeah, let's go. Play
But
it.
it's like
Play to learn to win.
this game, but this game is not like that. Like
Yeah.
in the couple of times that I've gotten to play it, this is not like that at all. Like you said, you make a really good point, right? There is some AP like
a little bit of max min trying to like make sure I can get that and that, but then that'll up this skill so that next turn I can do the other one and get more pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I like too that as the options become fewer, right, they become more important.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Good point.
But there's fewer. So as they're more important, I can also game it easier.
Right.
If I only have these 4 options, the option I take on this turn is very important. But all I have to do is go, well, I can only put this here. I can only put this here. I can only put these here, right? And so you have way less moves
Right.
to have to go through.
have to go
so
over,
it's
yeah.
a really good balance of the beginning of the game is more moves, but they're not, the beginning
Not
of
as
the
critical.
round rather, but it's
Right.
not as critical. You kind of try to set up your future turns. Then the end turns are way more critical, but also you have 3
Fewer
moves
options.
to
Yeah.
go through.
And another
So-
thing is this game is not too punishing for a bad round because Dan had a round
yeah,
where he
no
scored
points.
0 points.
0
Yeah.
points.
And he won.
Yeah.
Like,
That's still under review. But
sure, and it was one of those things
but you
where
did have good subsequent rounds.
it was one of those things
Yeah.
where I looked at it and I knew I was like, I'm not getting any. Jeff took the turn I wanted. I'm not going to get any points this turn, but I
Yep.
can set up next round really well, right? And that's all I focused on. I said, give me 0 points, but next round, if I can get, and obviously it depends what comes out on the paths, right? But if I
Right.
can get the couple colors I need, I can set up the future. Same thing with you last game, Tim, right?
Right.
You started the game.
really way
You
ahead.
started the game with like 30-some points
Yeah.
on his
Wow.
first turn, and I think Pete got none, and I got like 3.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, well, game's over. Geez, well done, Tim.
Yeah.
And he wound up losing like by this much. And so,
But
yeah.
within 3 rounds, everybody was all bunched together.
yeah,
with
yeah.
good points.
So again, it's just can you put the puzzle together?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it a lot.
and again, if you just having a terrible game, and it's like round after round, it's over in like
Right.
20 minutes.
Yeah, 15,
Right.
20 minutes.
So who cares?
right.
Didn't
Didn't
whatever.
waste the whole day.
Yeah, you play again
Yeah.
or don't, but you only
Or
wasted like
don't.
20
Or
minutes.
don't.
You haven't wasted a ton of time. Because I could see myself like playing this and going, oh boy, and I still got like another hour to go. Like I've had games where it's like, ugh, but this is so brisk that doesn't even affect my opinion of it. Because like if you were to have a bunch of bad rounds potentially.
I assume, Tim, this is Grand Gamers Guild. I assume this is pretty easy to find.
Right now on their website.
Okay.
Might be still for pre-order. There was a Kickstarter. I know the Kickstarter people
Sure.
have theirs. So, Dan,
Yep.
we're going to rate this. How does that work?
Well, we rate it.
Okay, perfect. So, Bob,
Yeah.
Dan.
So anyway, we rate it from 1 to 10, and 3 scores would be confusing. There's 3 of us, so instead we'll all give our own personal opinion, but then we'll average them together into one number so that you guys can just have one number you have to remember on things like Board Game Geek. If you look it up, they'll just be the one score. It's way easier to keep track of that way. Also, we keep our scoring to 0.5s and 0.0s only to
Sure.
keep the math easy and
Easy.
the
Mostly.
mental strain
Yeah,
easy.
we're not good at math. We like playing board games. We're not really
Not so
strong
good
at
at math. Yeah.
Meh.
Who won? I don't know.
So I am perfectly happy to give my score first.
Sure, do it.
So it's an abstract strategy game.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is this game is not like a 9 out of 10 game for me, right? This
Sure.
isn't like some near perfect,
Right.
like, Twilight Imperium and like these kind of games I like, right? I'm just saying it's not a 9 out of 10 game for me.
Right.
But this is an abstract strategy game. I'm giving an 8.5.
Yeah.
I love this puzzle. You know, a lot of
Yeah, it
abstract
is like a
strategy games,
puzzle.
I just don't like the way the puzzle feels, and I don't like the weird theme that's slapped on.
Sure.
Even on games where people like it, like Sagrada, I just don't like that feeling and everything. This theme makes sense, and the puzzle it is giving you is interesting and deep,
I
like in
love
the
it.
shallow way. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
weird. I loved this experience.
I love it when we find a game that it's like, oh, Dan should hate this.
Yeah.
Right? Like, not that we're good at math, but adding all these variables together.
yeah.
You're amazing
should-
at finding things I should hate and I don't like. Like you walked up to me once and said, "Hi, I'm Tim."
Yeah.
You should hate
Hate
that.
I know. No,
Yeah, here we are.
I should hate this guy.
Yeah, here we are. All right, Bobby, what do you think?
I've been thinking about it. I'm thinking I'll go with an 8.
Yeah.
Eight?
Yeah, I like it. It's solid. Like Dan said, it's like a puzzle. You're trying to figure out. You're trying to build up your abilities to collect more, but then you got to be careful not to collect too many.
Right.
You know, and I dig it. I'd give it an 8. I'd
Yeah.
recommend it. I'm probably gonna get it myself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this is a 9 for me because
Yeah.
I can get this played. Again, that's a huge thing
huge
for me,
thing.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is getting it played with my wife.
Exactly. I was going to say the
eventually-
same thing with you.
Yep.
Eventually, I could get it. You know, as my kids get a little bit older, I could
Right.
get this played with Mallory. I could take this over the in-laws and play it, but I could also bring it to a game night. And oh, hey, Bob stopped at Chipotle. We got 20 minutes to kill. Why don't we bust out Gorinto and then we'll have
Yeah.
time for 3 more games before Bob shows up.
Right.
But no, this plays so fast, yet it scratches sort of that complexity itch where it's not like too simple. So,
So if we take all of our scores together, 8.5.
8.5, pretty
so
good.
What I'm hearing from this is Dan was right. Right.
oh, because you gave it an
Because
8.5
I'm gonna change my score just a little bit.
but up it so that we can.
Yeah.
Seriously though, guys, are there games that have some similar mechanics to this? This grid thing, you're going in, abilities are activating. I've seen games that do similar things-ish. None of them are as interesting as this one.
Yeah.
to me.
No, this gives me something that I have not messed around with a lot, and I really enjoy it.
I was looking through the book. It does have a solo mode also.
Correct.
Which I don't
There's a
think we
whole
checked
bag
out
here
yet.
for
Yep.
Automa pieces.
Yep, have
And,
not played the solo mode yet.
And then a special 2-player mode, which I haven't done yet. So
Yep.
yeah, interesting.
But yeah, man, just a solid outing
Yeah.
by Grand Gamers Guild, and really happy
Indeed.
that we got a chance to
Check it
play
out.
it.
Yeah,
I mean, good
definitely.
job. I know that you guys were inside your company being like, we got to get Dan to like an abstract strategy game.
That's their
I
sole
know that
motivation.
it says, I swear somewhere in here it said focused for Dan. But
Oh, it was in here.
you did a great job, Grand Gamers Guild. You got me. You pulled me over to the dark side of the
Yeah,
game,
we got you.
of the genre.
We got you.
Yep.
Anyways, this has been Gorinto. For the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
And I've been Dan.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.